Welcome to the channel. This is 1 Minute. A long time ago in a place called Queens, there was a guy named Daymond John who had a dream of making $1 billion. Except every morning when he woke up, reality would smack him upside the head and remind him that right now he was broke. His sewing machines sat cold and silent. His hands were raw from working days and nights. And the check he'd written for rent bounced. And then the unthinkable happened. But Daymond got a candle. He didn't know how he was going to make $1 billion, but he did know one thing. He was going to make something that day. Because when you don't have a safety net, failure isn't an option. You can't afford to fail. The one thing that Daymond did not have, he lost. The one thing he needed to chase his dream, he lost. He didn't have electricity, but he had a vision. And while the ghost of numbers may have rattled around in the silence, inside him, a fire burned brighter than any light bulb. The very thing that made him think he might actually have a shot at this, he lost. And that night the lights went out. Not figuratively, but literally. Most people would panic, quit, and go get a real job. So as most people slept, Daymond worked. By candlelight, he cut, he sewed, he designed. With each stitch, he defied the darkness. And all around him was proof of the price he paid, not in money, but in blood. His fingers were sore and busted, bleeding onto the fabric, a roadmap of sacrifice. On pure instinct, he handed over one of his designs, a plain black t-shirt with the letters FUBU boldly stitched in gold across the front. He had no agent, no PR team, no setup, just faith in his product. By dawn, he created a few pieces that would change everything. Daymond went from struggling to stay afloat to figuring out how to keep up with demand. He finished because failure was the only thing he could not afford. It means having so little to lose that quitting isn't an option. Broke can be the fuel that powers you past exhaustion, financial ruin, societal expectations. And in the darkest hour of his life, Daymond tapped into a power that many entrepreneurs never discover, the power of broke. He was so broke that he couldn't afford to fail. And that gave him focus. That gave him clarity. That gave him power. But instead, he persevered. He pushed on. And when he did, the universe responded. LL saw the quality. Gap picked it up. And overnight, Daymond's life transformed. She did it because she saw the desperation in her son's eyes and the fire in his belly. It's not about the resources you lack. It's not about the connections you don't have. It's not about the money you need. It's about the power you already possess. She mortgaged the house because she knew Daymond had nothing left to lose. But when you're broke, you can't afford to. That's your power. Broke. It's the fuel that powers brilliance. This is your moment. What will you do when the lights go out? When you're broke, you don't have the luxury of wasting time. Breakthroughs are born of necessity. Necessity, the mother of invention. You have to weather the storm. You have to hunker down and ride it out. They're the culmination of countless hours spent honing a craft, mastering a skill, pursuing a dream. That's the power of broke. I'm celebrating the indomitable will that resides in all of us. So what will you do when the lights go out? Will you panic or will you persevere? The power of broke, the power to innovate, the power to create, the power to rise above. Will you embrace the darkness or will you light a candle and keep moving? In the absence of light, you'll see with a different kind of vision. This is the power of broke. No light, no hope, surrounded by the ghost of your unfulfilled dreams. Don't waste it living someone else's life. From humble beginnings, Daymond turned his passion, his hustle, and his sheer determination into $1 billion empire. You have to make every second count. Embrace the darkness, use it as fuel, as motivation, as inspiration. That's when you prove them wrong. That's when you shine. Hungry to succeed, hungry to prove yourself, hungry to make something of your life. And that hunger, my friends, is the most powerful force of all. When you can't see, when you're forced to rely on other senses, your hearing becomes sharper, your sense of touch more acute. You're free to take risks, to pursue dreams that others might scoff at. Success is personal. It's defined by your dreams, your aspiration, your goals. You're inspired by what you can create with what you do have. You become a master of improvisation, a virtuoso of resourcefulness. You're motivated by a sense of purpose, a sense of pride, a sense of accomplishment. It's in the struggle that you find your true power. It's in the face of adversity that you define your greatness. It can liberate you. It can set you free to pursue your dreams, to unleash your potential, to make your mark on the world. You want to build something that lasts, something that makes a difference, something that reflects your values, your vision, your mission. You start to feel the texture of the darkness, the contours of your dreams. You can't afford to chase every shiny object or to waste time on things that do matter. It's what allows you to turn dreams into reality. When you have nothing, you learn to make do with what you have. You become a master of resourcefulness. Resourcefulness breeds creativity. Creativity is the engine of innovation. Innovation leads to breakthroughs. Will you let the shadows consume you, or will you step into the darkness and find your brilliance? You push harder, you work smarter, you hustle relentlessly. It gives you the license to explore, to experiment, to push the boundaries of what you think is possible. It sharpens your senses, making you more attuned to the world around you. It forces you to rely on your intuition, to trust the voice inside you. You have to make the most of what you have right now. He sent the pieces out into the world with no marketing plan, no fancy website, no influencer, just hope and a prayer. But he wasn't done. He didn't finish because he thought it would work. When you're broke, your options narrow. Broke forces you to double down on what truly matters. It strips away the excess, leaving you with a clear-cut path, a singular focus. It's the driving force that pushes you past exhaustion, physical, mental, emotional. When the world thinks you'll break, you rise. And that led him to a moment where he met rapper Cool J. And 2 weeks later, Cool J wore it in a National Gap commercial. And then everything changed. Thousands upon thousands of orders flooded in. That one night of darkness had birthed $1 billion blueprint. Broke can mean desperate times when you're so hungry you're willing to claw your way up. When Daymond's mom put her house on the line, she didn't do it because she was greedy or believed in get-rich-quick schemes. You see, broke has a funny way of forcing clarity. It's easy to get distracted, to get caught up in the latest trend or shiny new strategy. Some call it the grind. Some call it survival mode. I call it the power of broke. Daymond didn't finish that night because he was scared, but because he was broke. He could have despaired, thrown in the towel, packed it in, given up. For those sitting in the shadows, wondering why your dreams seem out of reach, let me whisper a truth. Deep inside you, there's a reservoir of strength, a wellspring of resilience that has been untapped, unused, dormant. Now, I want you to close your eyes and imagine yourself in a dark room. If you're like most, you'll panic. You'll feel overwhelmed by the darkness, the uncertainty. But here's what you'll discover. It's a way of approaching life, of tackling challenges, of seizing opportunities. In the quiet hum of the night, you'll hear the whispers of your soul. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but broke can be beautiful. It strips away the distractions, leaving you with what truly matters. Broke makes you resourceful. Breakthroughs don't happen in boardrooms or fancy labs. They happen in the struggle, in the grind, in the grit. Overnight successes are often the result of years of toil, sweat, and sacrifice. And let's be clear, I'm not glorifying poverty. I'm celebrating the human spirit. In the depths of despair, in the bleakest of moments, there's a spark, a flicker of hope that refuses to be extinguished. The late Steve Jobs once said, "Your time is limited. You're in a race against the clock, and the clock is ticking loudly in the silence of your struggles." Because in the end, it's not the resources that define you. It's not the connections that make you. It's the power within you. When you're broke, you're free from the shackles of complacency. You're free from the comfort zone. Being broke gives you the freedom to fail, to stumble, to get back up and try again. You see, broke isn't just a financial status. It's a mindset. When you're broke, you're not limited by what you don't have. The story of FUBU is a testament to this. So to those who find themselves in the trenches, to those who feel the bite of financial struggle, I say this: channel the power of broke. When the lights go out, when the odds are stacked against you, when the world tells you you can't, that's when you rise. Broke makes you hungry. You see, success isn't measured solely by financial gain. When you're broke, you're driven by a burning desire to succeed, to make something of your life, to create something that reflects your talent, your hard work, your dedication. This drive, this passion, this hunger, it's what sets you apart from the crowd. It's what makes you unstoppable. When you're broke, you're motivated by more than just a paycheck. So when the world tells you you can't, when the naysayers doubt you, when the skeptics laugh, you remain focused. And then one day, when the world isn't ready, you'll blow them away. When the lights go out, what will you do? Will you succumb to the darkness, or will you light a candle and keep going? Remember, broke doesn't have to limit you. It's in the darkness that you discover the strength within you. So embrace the darkness, my friends. Embrace the power of broke. Thank you for watching.